Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Slightly Biased Podcast. I am your host, Connolly, joined by my co-host, Brett. Brett, happy birthday, brother.
Hey, thanks, brother. How we doing today?
We're doing all right. How about yourself?
Man, I'm out here in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, looking for some jobs and stuff. Getting ready to move out here in a couple months, so it's all exciting stuff.
That is exciting stuff, man. Happy for you. Happy that you can join us today. You weren't initially supposed to, but it is bright
Yeah,
and early, and we are making it work.
yep. Can't get rid of me that easy, brother.
That's true. I've been trying for how many years now?
For been a good 20 or so. So
It is Tuesday, October 1st, week 4 of the NFL season wrapped up last night. And we're going to go over the week, and we're going to go over our picks, all right? Because they were not good.
mine were definitely not good.
In full disclosure, we're going to let you guys know week in and week out how we do. I went
Yep.
6-9, not good. Brett?
I haven't totaled up my record because I didn't want to, so I don't know if you did for me,
Oh,
but
don't worry, I
mine.
did. I did.
Okay. Yeah.
4-11.
Okay. So
So I have jumped out to the lead in the season total.
yes,
But
yes. I need a good comeback next week.
it's ugly for both of us. But you know what?
Yes,
I'm not going to be too hard on myself because this was a tough week.
it
I think
was.
only 4 home teams won. 4 or 5
Yep.
home teams won the
So,
entire week.
that's what it's looking like. Yep.
I'm thinking Vegas won quite a lot of money this weekend off of these football games. So let's get right into going over them with the Thursday night game. The Eagles went to Lambeau and got a huge win against the previously undefeated Packers, 34-27.
Yep. Yeah, man. I learned a lot this weekend. I feel like. Um, I just think I was getting a little caught up in the first 3 games and kind of not realizing how long of a year it is when you really start to pick teams every week and really trying to, do your research and blah 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 and stuff like that. Football's a crazy game. It's
Yep.
it's 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 frustrating.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah, fantasy is frustrating.
That
Uh, but
that's too true.
yeah. So going to this game, I kind of hate to say it, but I was impressed by the Eagles. I mean,
You
this was
have
a
to be.
big win. You can't go to 1-3. They scored 21 points in the second quarter. This was a hell of a football game. Now I kind of had a close enough score, but I had the wrong team winning, obviously. The Packers started really hot out the gate, but when Sanders kind of had that 65 yard kickoff return, I think that kind of gave the Eagles some momentum. Um, Looking at the numbers, I think this is kind of like a dream situation for how the Eagles want to win games.
I agree.
Wentz throws 27 times, only completes 16 for 160. Not crazy amount of yards, but still gets 3 touchdowns. Gets two of them, 3 of them in the red zone, 2 of them, one to Goddard, one to Alshon, and then gets a 20-yarder to Jordan Howard, who finally got involved in the game plan. I don't know where he's been. I think he's clearly the number 1 back. I like Sanders. I think he's really fast, but I think Howard's just kind of got that experience. I think they should be using him a lot more. The run game got going. Like I said, Howard and Sanders combined 26 carries for 159 yards. To me, that was kind of the key of this game.
Yeah.
I had told you that I wasn't completely sold on this Packers defense. I don't think it's like bad by any means now or anything, because obviously the Eagles have a good team. The O-line looked better. I called Devontae Adams would get going. So I mean, we saw that the Eagles defense is still pretty shreddable.
Yeah.
Unfortunate Devontae gets hurt, because that could have been huge later in the game when Aaron was trying to make plays and made a lot of good plays, but kind of just didn't have his number 1 guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they needed him badly there at
Yeah.
the end of the game.
So like I said, Packers D, I think they're good. Kevin King was really impressive. I thought he had a pretty good night. But yeah, huge win for the Eagles not to go to 1-3. They got the big fumble and the big interception at the end, so that was kind of key points as well for the defense, because that's all kind of what it's about in defense. If you're allowing points and blah blah blah, can you be opportunistic? Can you create some turnovers? And so it was a big one for Philly, and they're going to be tough going forward for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I have to eat my crow on several things. Of course, it's only 1 week, so you don't want to blow anything too out of proportion or anything. But the Packers defense is not what I thought it was, and I feel bad saying that because I was really high on them. But dude, the run defense is so fucking horrible that it
Yeah.
just limits that defense as a whole. Because
Yep.
it's not like this was a one-off thing.
Right.
They've given up 5 yards per attempt so far this season. That's the fifth worst in the entire league. They've given up They gave up a monster game to Dalvin Cook, which is fine, understandable. He's the best running back in the league right now, probably. But they gave up 149 to a running back by committee of Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman. They gave up 198 to Dalvin. They did a good job against the Bears, but Mitch threw the ball 35 times, so it's not like they gave him an option. And then they just gave up 200. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. They gave up 176 yards to a running back by committee of Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders, who are fine running backs, but I mean, not anything too crazy, I wouldn't think. And I
Right.
think we need to give props to the Eagles online because we were kind of
Yep.
shitting on them on Thursday,
100%. I know I
especially
was for sure.
especially Jason Peters, and he had a really good game.
Yep.
And that O line in general gave up no sacks. Carson Wentz
Yep.
only took one hit.
Yep.
He was only pressured 10 times. So I mean, that offensive line played really well. And the formula for success for the Eagles on Thursday was very similar to what won them a Super Bowl a few years ago.
Mm.
So if they can stick to this, they're definitely a threat moving forward. Now, the run defense for Philly is good. I think we all know that. They've only given up 248 yards on the ground, fifth best in the NFL, fourth best if you don't count San Fran, who's on a bye week this week.
Right.
Only 3.8 or 3.18 yards per carry, which is the third best in the NFL. So the run defense has always been good. I still have too many questions about the secondary for me to take them all that seriously, to be honest
Right.
with you.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Aaron Rodgers is definitely still making plays. I mean, Devontae Adams was tearing him up.
right.
Uh,
They've given up more yards than any passing yards than any team in the NFL this season, more than the Giants, Redskins, Dolphins, all those horrible teams.
yeah.
Avonte Maddox is burnt toast. Of course, he got hurt, so hope that he's doing fine. It sounds like he is. Sidney Jones is burnt toast. Um,
Darby's been out.
I hate how much that fucking secondary talks shit. Like they're getting up after every drop ball and celebrating every throw. It's like every throwaway they're celebrating. It's like, dude, y'all are too bad to be celebrating the way that you are.
Well, I don't want to jump right into the game last night, but that's how I was feeling all last night about the Steelers. Like, can y'all like relax a little bit? Like y'all are playing the Dolphins. Like every play, it's a team
Equal to me.
celebration. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, and then God, well, I forgot the name of the Packers receiver because it was some no-name dude. But that one play in the end zone where Avonte Maddox like wrapped him up and then was like celebrating, and the ref to the flag, and the Packers receiver pointed at the flag.
Oh yeah.
Like the secondary is an issue, man. And if any team needs Jalen Ramsey, it is the Eagles. But it kind of sounds like Jalen's not going anywhere. I don't know if you saw those reports that said some team offered 2 first-round picks for
Really?
Jalen Ramsey, and the Jags turned it down. I
I
don't know
mean,
who that team was, but it
going
wouldn't
into
shock
that
me.
game, I didn't think Ramsey was even going to be there, but it was kind of surprising to see him on the sideline with his team. I guess he actually is a little injured, or is it are they trying to figure out the trade situation? Because I'm gonna tell you,
I think there is a legitimate injury there.
okay, because I actually kind of like that team. We'll get into that, but I kind of like that team going forward. It's a weird AFC South right now, so
Yeah, and
but
we can't talk about this Packers Eagles games without bringing up LaFleur's coaching because there were some very questionable moments, especially
right,
first and goal at the 1 yard line, 4 straight pass plays.
yeah, doing his
I,
best Pete Carroll impression.
yeah, I mean I get that the Eagles have a great run defense, but you have to run the ball at least one time there.
Yeah,
So the Eagles get a big win to move to 2-2. The Packers fall to 3-1. Definitely changing our tone a little bit on both of these teams. Still think the Packers are a really good team. They have a really good secondary. That part is understood. Like I think they have a really good secondary. Run defense is horrible. Blake Martinez is so fucking overrated. I do not. Dude, he's one of those dudes that puts up a lot of tackles, but my God, he like when he makes tackles, he's getting pushed for like 3 yards. So it's not like he's making stops or anything.
yeah. I mean, I thought Kevin King, like I said, had a really nice game.
Yeah, I mean their secondary is good,
Yeah, right.
but that run defense needs to be figured out if they really want to be serious. All right, moving on to the next game, the Sunday games. Oh my God,
Yeah, this is gonna be tough for me.
Fucking Atlanta Falcons, man.
Yeah.
The
Should
Tennessee
have
Titans.
jumped. Yeah, should have jump shipped on him. Should have
Yeah,
jump
yeah.
shipped.
We were talking like we should have,
Yep.
and
Yep.
damn, we should have. The Tennessee Titans go to Atlanta and beat the Falcons 24-10 at home.
Yeah. Look, there was 20 31 of the 34 points were scored in the first half. This was a kind of a tough one to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Now I saw a lot of positives from Tennessee. I mean, in a kind of wide open AFC. I mean, I saw a lot of good things. We've been kind of tough on their O-line, and they played pretty well.
Yeah.
Mariota threw the ball well. Obviously, A.J. Brown had a coming out party. We've been kind of questioning, you had mentioned they're investing all these early picks in their young receivers. Corey Davis finally got going. But, look, this Falcons defense is bad. Derrick Henry wears on you. He had 100 yards.
He's just so
but,
big.
Yeah, I mean, but what impressed me about the Titans team was their defense. And I kind of mentioned that they had good defense predicting this game, but I think some of us, including myself, I know I do, still get caught up in the Falcons going to that Super Bowl, and we're still thinking that they're that team because they
That's
have
the
a
only
lot.
reason why Dan Quinn is still the head coach
Yeah,
of football.
I mean, and it's the only reason I picked them to win games still. And it's clear that they're not the same team. Everybody, it's literally almost the same players. Like, it's a lot of the same players. But I didn't even realize that Titans had Kenny Vaccaro. I mean, this Adoree Jackson is a monster. Cameron Wake. You got Logan Ryan, Wesley Woodard.
Malcolm
Juro
Butler had a
Casey.
big game.
Malcolm Butler is so solid. Juro Casey is solid. So the Titans finished with 5 sacks. They get a fumble. So I don't know what to make of this Falcons team. They play the Texans next week, who are driving me insane as well. So I'm gonna have to just throw a wish in the air on that one. I don't know who I'm gonna pick, but the Titans look good. The Falcons don't. So good job, Titans.
Yeah, I mean the Titans still. I'm impressed by this win. Do not get me wrong, but this team is all over the fucking map.
The entire AFC South is all over the map. We don't know what to make of any of them.
No, I know, and this team is like a microcosm of their quarterback, who is just like the team itself, all over the fucking map. Like,
right.
Mariota,
you never know what you're gonna get.
Never. I mean, he looked good against the Browns, certainly, and then he looked like garbage against the Jags last week, and then he looked great against the Falcons this week. And granted, you said it's a bad Falcons defense, just straight up. It's certainly a bottom 10 defense.
Yes.
They gave up 24 points in the first half. And just like rewatching the game, the Titans took their foot off the gas in the second half. I don't know why they did that, but they did.
Right.
But for Mariota, he had a good game. I'm still not sold on him, to be honest with you. His performance is way too tied to outside factors for me.
Yeah.
Like, the offensive line has to be playing really well. The game plan has to look really good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say like, oh wow, like Mariota really, really impressed me or anything. But it's, as a team, like the Titans are gonna be one of those teams that could be a playoff team, just sneak in. You know what I'm saying? Wild card
Right,
type
that's
thing.
what they've been. That's what they've been for how many ever years now? Like
last few years since they've had Mariota, basically.
Right, and I'll give him some flowers. I think he had like a 95% accuracy rating, which was the best across the entire league this week. So he looked good. Make no mistake about it. But it's just, can you expect that play from him every week? No, you can't. You just do not know what you're going to get out of him. It was nice to see A.J. Brown get going. You mentioned that.
Yeah, he's a monster. He does not look like a rookie.
I know. He's built like Derrick Henry. Like, he's just this massive dude who's just super athletic.
And then Corey Davis is massive. Like, if Mariota can get the ball out quick to these guys and let them run over people, that's got to be the game plan.
Yeah, I mean, the receiving talent is there for this Titans team, which was what makes them so frustrating to me. But even then, like, A.J. Brown went off. He only had 5 targets, and he made the most out of those 5 targets. But I like to see them get their playmakers more involved. He hasn't had more than 5 targets a single game. But
it's a weird offense.
Yeah, it is. The D-line dominated. You mentioned it. 5 sacks, 27 pressures total, which is a crazy high number.
Right.
For the Falcons, it's time to fire Dan Quinn to the fucking sun. Like, I saw a tweet that gave him Vegas has him as the second highest odds of being fired behind Jay Gruden. It's only time will tell for this dude. Like, he is on a week-to-week basis, I think. But the thing is Dick Coder is right, the offensive coordinator who is assumably going to be the head coach if Dan Quinn gets fired. He's just as bad. Like, this offense is way too talented to be as bad as it is.
Yeah, I mean, Ridley's disappeared.
Ridley has disappeared completely. He's had, what, like 2 receptions?
Or like
4 receptions the last 2 games?
Yeah, I think it's 2. I think it's 1 catch in the last 2 games.
Dude, like, Matt Ryan threw the ball 53 times and didn't throw a fucking touchdown.
Dude, this game
Julio Jones, Austin Hooper, Calvin Ridley, you don't throw a touchdown pass in 53 attempts? And I'm really not shitting on Matt Ryan because he didn't look horrible.
I mean, he was damn near running for his life.
That one.
And running, I mean, use the word running like very lightly because it's
that one
like
fourth
scrambling.
Fourth down scramble.
Yeah.
It's like 4th and 6. He tried to jump over Tayon Brown.
He's got the braces on his legs. It look like they weigh like 200 pounds. Like, it's rough to watch this Falcons, man. It's so frustrating because you would just think they would put up 35 easy, and they can't move the ball. Freeman's bad. Like, it's just unbelievable.
I don't think their offense is as good as the Saints, the Chiefs or anything, but it's like they're almost in that same breath where they should be like, yeah, our defense is bad, but we're going to score so many points, it doesn't matter.
I mean, this dude Matt Ryan won an MVP for Christ's sake.
I know. And you have the best wide receiver in the NFL. And probably, maybe not the best wide receiver too, but one of them in Calvin Ridley.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely good. I mean, I know he's been a little banged up, but if you're banged up, just don't play. Why don't you just take a week off, buddy? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
And Mohamed Sanu is good too.
Sanu is honestly balling.
I mean, how the fuck does this team score 10 points? How is this team 1-3? It's got to be coaching.
They're struggling.
There's really no other way around it. I don't see Dan Quinn finishing this season.
I do think this Titans defense is low-key scary, though.
No, the Titans defense is definitely good, so they get their props. But even then, the Falcons offense has just been
really bad.
Struggle the entire season.
Yeah, I'm tired of the Falcons, so.
We got both those picks. We both got that pick wrong.
I've jumped ship on them for sure.
Yeah, I am too. They're done. They're done completely unless they have a big touchdown miraculously. Yeah. But moving on to the next game. This one was good. Patriots, Bills. The Patriots moved to 4-0. Bills fall to 3-1 after the Patriots win 16-10 in Buffalo. You picked the Bills to win this game, so go ahead and tell us what you saw from them.
Oh man,
they played well.
And the Bills' defense is still really good, and we saw that.
I was thinking these are probably 2 top 5 defenses at the very least.
I'd say, yeah.
Maybe even
both
three.
offenses obviously played horribly. Obviously, like I said, the Bills, the rushing attack was there. I mean, they
was shocking.
Frank Gore, props to him, give him his flowers. One of 4 running backs ever to get 15,000 yards. I mean, me and you've been watching Frank Gore since we started watching football, and this dude's still out here doing his thing. I got to be honest though, I'm kind of concerned about this Patriots team. Obviously, you feel good about them because their division is so easy. So it's like it's not like, oh, they're not gonna make the playoffs or anything like that. But Tom doesn't look good. They have a lot of question marks on their offensive line. No Devlin, no rookie receiver, no Julian Edelman. I mean, the running game is very suspect. So I'm very questionable kind of on this Patriots team. I think if they don't get that punt block for a touchdown, they probably don't win this game. I'll be honest. Josh Allen scored his first rushing touchdown on Pats since week 14 of last year. I know he throws some picks, but if he doesn't get hurt, I think he might have had a little bit of magic in the fourth quarter for him. I still like this Bills team. I really hope Josh Allen isn't seriously hurt because Barkley is very bad. Since Sean McDermott took over in 2017, only the Bears and Rams have more takeaways. So, yeah, I'm really impressed with the Bills' defense still. I still think they're a solid team going forward. Still think they can get a wild card spot. But, yeah, man, it was a weird game. This week drove me insane, man.
Yeah.
I really wanted the Bills to pull it out, but especially because the Patriots could not score. I mean, 13-0 after the first quarter, and me and you were talking all day Sunday, but I, I was thinking the Bills could have made it happen. I mean, once Allen got hurt though, I was like, all right, and it was kind of unfortunate because I really wanted to pull this pick out. But I mean, I guess Patriots, good for you. Good win on the road.
Man, you're so hard on Matt Barkley. I didn't think he was that horrible.
That game-ending pick was
Yeah,
atrocious.
the game winning pick was awful, but I
Yeah.
mean, like as a whole, I really don't think that he was that bad. I'll say this: me and you are both high on Josh Allen. He looked fucking awful.
I know.
Like he looked horrible. 52% accuracy rating, which was the second worst of the entire season.
But I feel like it's an easy game for the Patriots defense to game plan for. Like you got Beasley. Don't let Brown beat you over the top. Don't let Beasley like run all over you.
Josh Allen, like he has to see these blitzes. He has to see these coverages. He just has to make better decisions. Just full stop. That anytime I watch Josh Allen, that is the first thing that comes to mind, which is kind of a good thing for a second-year quarterback. That a lot of what's stopping him from being really good is mental things and reads and things like that, because those can be worked on and improved.
Right.
He has like all of the talent in the world. Arm
Yep.
strength is there. Athleticism is there.
Yep.
Maybe needs to work on mechanics a tiny bit, but I mean, he's standing around in the pocket. He's taking sacks. He needs to slide. I get a lot of these young quarterbacks think that they can run around and break tackles and truck people. Like you're not playing college anymore.
Yep.
You need to slide. You need to sacrifice some yardage for.
I didn't see the play you got hurt. Is that what happened when you got hurt?
Oh yeah, he was trying. It really, to me, it didn't seem like a dirty hit. Just to be honest with you, he
So
lowered his head.
He was running around.
Yeah, he lowered his head. Obviously, it kind of seems like he was able to run. He ran off the field, ran into the locker room and stuff. So
was it concussion or shoulder?
Yeah, definitely concussion. He was knocked out. Like he was knocked out for like a couple seconds. Looked like, but I don't know what is going to be the deal with him moving forward.
Yeah,
but Patriots defensively, they are the best. I'm gonna say they're the best defense in the NFL. I really think that the secondary is unreal.
Yeah. I think they kind of were like, okay, we'll let y'all run the ball because we know that Frank Gore isn't gonna bust a big one, so we'll kind of let y'all run the ball and not let y'all beat us over the top. Was kind of the game plan.
Yeah, and even watching the game, that is what they did. They let Josh Allen. They basically said Josh Allen beat us throwing the ball, but even then, like Frank Gore is like just breaking off crazy runs.
Yeah, I mean he had a really solid game.
Yeah. So it wasn't like the Patriots were just giving him wide open holes and stuff. He was making yards behind the line of scrimmage and stuff.
Yeah. But I think, like you said, the game plan was can Josh Allen throw and beat us.
Right, and that's going to be a lot of good defenses game plan when it comes to this Bills team because he's very prone to making
turnover prone for sure.
And
turnover
especially
monster.
Yeah. Probably the most turnover prone quarterback in the NFL. I just the way that he plays the game, just throwing it, chunking it into quadruple coverage.
Yeah, screw it. Like,
yeah. So this Patriots team has 10 takeaways already, which is impressive.
Right, but against four offenses that are probably the highest turnover teams in the league.
Yeah, but you play who you play, and even then, like that's just still an insane defensive performance.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just one of those AFC divisional matchups that's just kind of ugly.
Yeah.
Turnovers.
It was a pretty fun game. Like the Bills crowd was going crazy. Both these defenses are really, really good.
100%.
I really think after watching this, the Bills
are you with me on the concerns a little bit though on the Patriots offensive side?
Yeah, their offensive line is a problem.
Right.
Like they're playing horribly.
I mean, I'll give the Patriots this. Their schedule is a cakewalk.
Yeah, I think I saw something. I saw a rest of the schedule ranking thing.
I mean, other than Philly, Dallas, and the Chiefs,
they have the second easiest schedule the rest of the way. Do you want to guess who has number one? You'll never guess who it is.
I don't know.
The Cowboys.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Just it doesn't sound right to me either, but
rest of the schedule. But Patriots do have a cakewalk. I mean, they might walk into the playoffs with 1 or 2 losses straight up. I think that Cowboys game is even in New England. So.
Yep, it is.
What about the Eagles game?
At Philly.
Okay, I was wondering
So that
whether
could be a tough one.
Yeah.
And I mean at Baltimore, but other than those, man,
Well, I'm gonna
I
get
mean
into
you got
Baltimore in a second.
yeah, real quick.
But,
I know we gotta give you your flowers. Let's just go ahead and get to it. I'm done with this game.
well, okay, me and you both said on Thursday that we were gonna see what this Bills team was made of, and I'm walking away from it pretty impressed with them. Like
No,
I think they're
I
for
mean I
real.
still feel good about it.
I think they're a playoff
The
team.
offense, we already knew their offense. They did exactly what we thought they would. If, like I said, if the pump block doesn't happen, I think the Bills might win it. And if Josh Allen doesn't get hurt, I think they still might win it because I know he has his first half struggles. That's who he's been since he's been in the league. But he has that fourth quarter magic. So I think they would have had a better shot.
Yep, I agree. I'm impressed in the Bills. Tough loss, but
They'll be okay.
They'll be all right, and
Yep.
they should be excited about this team for sure.
Yep.
Moving on to another team, I said that we would find out if they're real or not, and
Yep.
I was impressed by them.
Me too.
The Lions, man, they were very close to winning this game. Last
They're
minute
balling.
touchdown needed by the Chiefs to win the game 34-30. And hey, I have to give myself some flowers.
Yep.
I predicted this score to the exact score.
Yep. Give your flowers.
Yeah.
Wow, it was a fun game, man. This has got to be the game of the week for me.
100% probably.
The Lions were balling. I mean, you gotta love Stafford, man. He is a football player.
He is so good.
He is a football player.
No one's gonna give him his props, so we might as well do it.
I mean,
that dude's just been good since he's been in the league.
Yes, 100%. These teams have some athletes. I mean, both these teams have fast players. I mean, both teams were playing smart football. I mean, there was 5 fumbles in the third quarter, so I mean, this third quarter was crazy. But I mean, the Chiefs get the 100-yard fumble return where everybody's just like, "Oh, play's dead." I mean, that might have saved them. That might have saved this Chiefs from losing this game. It was a back and forth battle. Kelsey had the lateral play to McCoy. I just got on here, just a bunch of really good plays. The big catch by Golladay to take the lead. Stafford playing with heart, throwing really nice passes. I mean, it's up to Detroit on 4th and 8 to just try to stop Patty.
And you gotta put a spy on him, man.
Oh man, he just
Especially
makes
the way
all
he
the
was
right.
Running.
Yeah, he makes all the right plays. Then he hits Kelsey. Then he hits Pringle. I mean, they punch it in. I think Kansas City defense. I know we're not high on them, but they had a couple of big plays.
Right, and that's what
we
mentioned about that defense is if
they
could just be opportunistic,
yeah,
they'll be 100%.
All right. Yep. So like I said, I'm not gonna pick the Chiefs to lose until I see them lose, and this was a fun game. I think the Lions, now they are in a tough division. That NFC North might be the best division in football. So it could be tough to get out of, but I think this Lions team is really good. I was definitely 100% impressed. But the Chiefs come out with it at the end.
Yeah, everything you said, I don't want to say love this Lions team, but they're pretty fun to watch.
No, they're good.
I mean, Matt Stafford flat out outplayed Patrick Mahomes. No way around it, really. But it's just like 2 back-breaking plays that really sealed.
I mean, 5 fumbles in the third quarter.
Right, and I mean
crazy.
For the Lions, you had, I think that this was in the first quarter, maybe second quarter, but there was that touchdown in the end zone to Golladay that was overturned, questionable call. I don't know if it was a touchdown or not. It honestly looked like he was bobbling it, going out of bounds. But on the very next play,
even the fourth quarter one for Golladay was kind of questionable. I mean, I think he got his foot in, but
I think he did. That was super close though too.
Right.
But after the Golladay touchdown was overturned, Stafford fumbles on the next play within the 5-yard line. That's backbreaking, and then the Kerryon Johnson fumble at the goal line, return for a touchdown. Those hurt bad.
Yeah, those hurt. Yeah.
But the Lions' defense was balling out too. Dude, those punch fumbles, that was hilarious to me.
Yep. Well, and then early in the game too, the Chiefs had a touchdown.
Yeah,
to Sammy Watkins, dude just punched it out right when.
Yeah, I think that one was Mecole Hardman. He was just wide open in the end zone, and Justin Coleman just fucking.
I mean, that's a hell of a play.
That was, and honestly, watching that replay, that could have been a touchdown. I think.
Right.
Just like it felt like.
If you say you caught it.
The catch rules are so confusing and complicated, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, just in the second half, Justin Coleman again. Like, Sammy Watkins was down on the ground, stands up. Justin Coleman was just waiting. Have you seen it? There's like a bunch of memes for that, but they're fucking hilarious. Justin Coleman's just standing over him with the closed fist, just waiting for him to stand up. Kerryon Johnson had a nice game too.
Yeah, I like Kerryon. I think
They're
this
finally
Lions team is solid pretty much all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, and they're finally starting to try and get Kerryon Johnson going. He had 20 carries last week, 26. Or 20 carries 2 weeks ago, I guess, and then 26 on Sundays. So they're definitely trying to get him more involved. Man, just impressing the Lions, especially Diggs didn't play, Slay didn't play. Like they were without some very key players, and they still had a big time shot at winning this game.
Yeah, I think Patricia's done a really good job kind of instilling this new mentality of this team with Stafford as your quarterback. I mean, Stafford's been a good player since I've seen him, like watched him play football. So I mean, you got a leader with him who wants to win, and I think Patricia's done a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, Lions fans definitely should be excited.
I mean, Patricia was getting shit on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he has some disappointment. I mean, week 1 of the season last year, you get just fucking dismantled at home by the Jets. That was ugly. But he had some moments last year, though, too. They beat the Patriots last year. Like,
right.
I think Patricia's a good coach.
Yep.
This is the thing with coaches, guys. Sometimes it takes more than a year.
Yeah.
Like, it's always hard for me to see coaches get fired after a year, unless they were just so bad that you can't move forward with them. But
yeah, like this Bengals coach just driving me insane. Can't believe I picked them. Yeah.
I know. We'll get to that later.
Jesus Christ.
But Chiefs moved to 4-0. Lions suffer their first loss of the season, but they look impressive. I think everyone is pretty bought in on this Lions team now.
Yeah, that with them having that tie, that might be really interesting.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the season, where if somebody's 9-7 and they're 10-6-1, or 10-5-1, 10-5-1, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, looking back, that's one that really might come back and bite them.
Yeah.
As the season goes on, because that's a game they should have won.
Right.
Moving forward, this game was a bit of an eyesore. The Oakland Raiders go to Indianapolis after we completely jumped ship on them and beat the Colts on the road 31-24.
See, man, this season is driving me nuts because I was really not like thinking the Raiders were gonna be really good, but like just kind of loving this team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I picked them against Minnesota, and they let me down. And then I'm like, all right, screw the Raiders. And then, I'm all about the Colts. Wow, the Colts are so impressive.
We both said when we recapped the games last week that the Colts sort of made us believers.
And I still think the Colts are good, but the Raiders, man, like, this is what I wanted to see. I finally got it. And they beat the Colts. I mean, I still think Brissett had a good game. Other than that pick six, which kind of killed him, I think he throws the ball well. He's a good quarterback, but
he's all right.
I mean, yeah, but dude, I like the players that the Raiders have. I like Joyner. I like Tyrell Williams. He's got 4 TDs in 4 games. First Raiders receiver to do that since 1989.
Yeah, he's been impressive.
And then the Burfict play, man. Look, I understand Burfict's history, right? I think the suspension's a little unfair.
Yeah, I was going to come on here and say the same thing, but I think that there are some things that we need to point out. He's had 14 personal fouls in the NFL. 14.
This year already?
No. In his career.
Okay.
But this is the 4th year in a row he's been suspended. 3 of those years from on-field stuff. So I think they're finally saying, yo, we're trying to take the shit out of the game. You are a repeat offender.
Yeah.
It almost seems
Doyle
like,
gets right up and they kind of like dap up almost, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, Doyle said after the game that he didn't even really feel anything. The hit did not come out.
You can tell by the way he's been playing. He's kind of been a leader on that team.
It was a bad hit though, dude. Doyle was going down.
I know, dude.
It reminded me of that. We didn't even talk about this. I wish we did when we talked about this Eagles-Packers game. It was like that Derek Barnett hit. Like, why the fuck?
It wasn't that bad.
No, the Derek Barnett hit was bad.
That was bad.
The fact that Derek Barnett stayed in that game.
Yeah, and who did I pick up in our league? Of course, Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
And
my
shitty team.
I wish we talked about this when we were talking about the Packers game. But Derek Barnett that hit should have been out of the fucking game, no questions asked. Who has the big
Yeah,
strip sack? Who has the big strip sack a quarter later? Derek fucking Barnett.
see, man, and I know Burfict's history. Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But just I was like, because I knew he was suspended, and then last night I like reread it. I was like, suspended for the season? Like,
Wild.
really? Damn.
I will say this: when you like reading the league statement, it almost sounded like they told him, if you do one more of these dirty hits, it's gonna be a season-long thing for you.
And then he's like running off the field, like waving, like fuck y'all, like
Yeah.
it's like, damn, dude, this is. But hey, listen, this Raiders team, this is what I wanted to see.
Definitely play with some fire, man.
Look, they had that guy score that touchdown to go up 14-0, and Gruden's just fired up on the sideline. I don't know, man. I like this team. Brissett, though, I mean, he had that pick six. He comes right back with the touchdown to Ebron. This is where I'm just like, anything can happen week to week. This is the first time the Raiders have beat the Colts on the road since week 5 of 2001. Peyton Manning was the Colts quarterback. Jerry Rice was on the Raiders.
Damn.
That's kind of interesting. But look, man, the Raiders are 2-2.
Yeah.
And I think they got a solid enough team to at least beat some teams and be in the playoff race. I mean, yeah. I'm climbing back on ship on them. I'm excited for them, and let's see how the Colts are, man, because this was not a good loss for them. I mean, they battled though. I don't think it was, you know what I'm saying? They didn't lose 40-7. But I'm happy for the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm taking too much away from this game on either side, honestly, because I think I mentioned this in our first episode, that this Raiders team, the way I look at them, is they're going to be like a 6-win, maybe 7-win team that's going to have wins like this. Like, they're a team you don't really want to be playing because they play fast, they play hard, they play with some fire. Like, they'll come out and catch you sleeping if you take them too lightly and win the game. On the Colts side of things, I'm not taking too much out of this game. They're reeling from injuries right now. It definitely showed on the offensive side of the ball. They missed T.Y.
Right.
The passing offense just couldn't get anything going.
Yep.
Up until that final drive, Brissett was 21 of 41 with less than 200 yards. So he was struggling. Granted, like, his passing options were very limited.
Right.
That pick six.
Wasn't Marlon Mack kind of banged up too? He kind of looked a little banged up.
Marlon Mack has just been hurt on and off this entire season, it feels like.
His entire career, it feels like.
I think Ebron's time in Indianapolis is winding down. He had that nice touchdown, but he also had 3 drops on 5 targets. So I think his time's winding. This is who Eric Ebron has always been, by the way.
Right. Kind of disappointing.
Last year, I think, was an anomaly. And even, like, if you just dive a little bit deeper into last year, he was dropping the fuck out of balls, too. So This dude just – I don't want to say that he's a liability because that's a little much, but damn, when you're dropping
I will say, though, the Oakland Raiders, the next 5 games, they play the Bears, Packers, Texans, Lions, and Chargers.
See, but the thing is, I could see them winning 2 of those or something.
I mean, I could see them beating the Texans. Well, I mean, we're gonna shit on the Texans here pretty soon, but
yeah, we're definitely gonna shit on them.
Bears, Packers, and Lions. I don't know if they beat any of those teams.
Right, but what I'm saying with them is, yeah, you wouldn't pick them or anything, but if you are constantly a tiny bit,
watch them fuck around and beat the Packers in Green Bay or some shit.
No, you know that the Raiders are definitely a team the Chargers would lose to.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Colts, again, I'm not taking too much away from this game. I'm not the biggest believer in the Colts. I haven't been. I was impressed by their win last week, but I'm still going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they were just reeling from injuries more than anything else. But also the defense played fucking awful.
Yeah.
They played super soft. That's what this Colts team looked like to me on Sunday. They were super soft just all the way around.
Right.
And I guess they're not really built like a smash mouth team or anything, but still, man. Soft in coverage. D-line got almost no pressure. They got destroyed on the ground.
Yeah.
There's one play in particular that stood out to me. It was a 7-point game in the fourth. With 4 minutes left in the entire game, you're only down 7. The Raiders have the ball. You have a chance to get, a 3 and out. The Raiders are going to try to milk the clock. The first play of the drive was a false start. So it's 1st and 15, a big opportunity for you to get the ball back and go down and tie the game. They gave up a 16-yard run to Josh Jacobs the very next play. So just super soft play by them.
Yeah.
Disappointing loss for sure. We both got that pick wrong, by the way. Thanks, Raiders, for finally showing up.
Yeah, great pick.
Next up, we got the Chargers, who went to Miami and won 30-10. Just let me say this about the dude. I was laughing my ass off when I rewatched this game. It was like the first or second play of the game. Tyrod Taylor was out there doing some wildcat plays. I was just like, dude, teams do whatever the fuck they want against this Dolphins team.
Right.
Teams
Yeah,
just
like
going out there playing
try anything.
backyard football against this Dolphins team.
Yeah. I don't have much written about this game. I put good job, Chargers. Dolphins' worst point differential in the first 4 games since 1950. I thought Rosen had some decent moments. Obviously his team is bad. So Chargers, good for you.
It's impossible to get on him.
Yeah, I mean Chargers, good for you. Dolphins are really bad. So Eckler though, it's really fun to have him in fantasy. So
yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna look. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna use Melvin. I feel like Eckler is a starting running back in this league. I feel like they should just trade Melvin or something. So we'll see. We'll see how they do. As far as the Dolphins, good luck winning any games this year.
Yeah, look. Here's the thing about the Dolphins. In the first half of games, they look good. Maybe not good, but
they're in it at least, kind of.
Dolphins in the first half, like this has been 3 weeks in a row because they went into halftime. I think only trailing 17-10.
Yeah, 17-10.
They played the Patriots decently in the first half 2 weeks ago. They were in the game with the Cowboys last week in the first half. Dude, they're being outscored 81-0 in the second half this season.
I think teams are going into halftime like, all right, guys, let's go ahead and shit on them now.
Yeah, and I can't tell if it's like. I can't tell if Brian Flores is the way to go. I don't know, I don't know if he's in way over his head or if they're deliberately losing games. Because there's a big talent discrepancy every single week this team plays.
100%.
So in the first half of games, I'm like, damn, Brian Flores is kind of getting the most out of his guys. They're running like trick plays and shit. Like they're obviously trying to win. It looks like in the first half. I don't know if the second half, if the front office is like, all right, let's go ahead and
hey, quit trying.
Yeah. Like, that's kind of what it seems like because they're two completely different teams.
Yeah.
And Josh Rosen, I don't know what to make of him because he had one really nice throw into like the corner of the end zone to Kenyon Drake. It didn't count because Kenyon Drake couldn't stay in bounds, but it was a super nice throw. But then he's also throwing really horrible. That one interception he threw to Michael Davis, Preston Williams was literally standing out of bounds. So I was like, dude, there's just some head scratching stuff. This team's really fucking bad.
Yeah.
I don't think that they win a game. I really don't. When I see them play in the first half, I'm like, okay, this team could sneak a win out this season at some point. 81-0 in the second half.
Yeah, it's definitely head scratching.
That's hilarious. Oh, but you want to know something shocking? This team is technically not in last place.
Is it Washington?
Nope. The Bengals.
Yeah.
Because of strength of schedule.
Yeah, the Bengals.
But the Chargers, not really much to say. Their defensive line looked good, so that's good, and that's something we said.
Can the defense at least look a little bit good against the Dolphins?
Yeah, Joey Bosa had a sack, a few pressures, so that looked good.
We'll give him his flower. We'll give him like one flower.
Yeah, we'll give him one flower petal.
one half of flower.
Oh, and you know what? I will say this. Philip Rivers has looked really good this season.
Yeah.
This is the highest graded game
does.
For a quarterback this year by PFF. So, I mean, take that however you want to take it. He's on pace for 5,000 yards, too. So
give him a couple flowers.
Philip Rivers is just so funny to watch me, bro, because he's got like a little noodle arm.
He seems like one of those like rednecks that would just be like hyped up after like a couple beers, like every
100%.
time he went to the bar, you know.
That is 100% him. Except redneck, he's like a Mormon or something. He's got like fucking 50 kids. All right, moving on. Oh, this one was the biggest disappointment of the week, like from a quality perspective, I think. The Giants beat the Redskins 24-3 in quite possibly the ugliest game of the entire week.
Yeah, another great pick by me. Man, like I said, man, I learned a lot this week. Look, I've been saying the Giants are a decent team. They're 2-2. I mean, they have the same record as the Eagles right now. So, but Washington, they might be pretty close as bad as Miami.
They're just so dysfunctional that
I
they're
mean,
in that.
You had mentioned Jay
Same
Gruden being the favorite to being fired, and it's probably warranted. I think it's time for a new direction over there. On the Giants side of things, I mean, Danny Dimes, other than a couple picks, I mean, you got to feel good about the Giants and their future. Evan Ingram, 10 straight games with a 20-plus yard reception.
Be a top 3 tight end right now.
Yeah, I mean, Redskins, Haskins, and Keenum look really bad. I mean, Haskins, one of his picks was right off Vernon Davis' chest. But, yeah, this Redskins team was tough to watch. Just another one of those games that was very frustrating for me. I thought the Redskins were going to put up a better fight than that. And, yeah, the Redskins are really bad. So,
yeah, this team is a disaster, and they will be a disaster as long as Dan Snyder's there. I'm not going to get on it too much because everyone talks about it, but they're 1-10 since Alex Smith got hurt. They look fucking horrible. There's really nothing to say about them other than that. Actually, this too. Haskins looks horrible.
He didn't look as good as I thought he was.
I feel bad for him though because he doesn't get first team reps. So I can only ask why did he get put in this game?
Unless Jay Gruden's trying to save his job.
Well, I'm honestly wondering because there have been a ton of reports that Jay Gruden did not want Haskins.
Right.
So I'm also wondering if someone up top said, "Yo, put him in the game right now, or else we're fucking firing you tomorrow morning."
Right.
Or unless because Keenum was dealing with some injuries and shit coming into the game, so maybe there's a re-agitation there. But now you throw Haskins into the game against a division rival on the road. He looks horrible. Now you have a game against the Patriots coming up. So what exactly are you going to be doing now? Are you throwing Haskins against the Patriots? Are you going Colt McCoy? Are you going Case Keenum? Like, just
Jay Gruden seems like a very difficult man to deal with. I've always thought he wasn't great to me. Like the whole Kirk and RG3 thing was weird. So they're in a bad way right now. It's gonna be tough for them to get out of it too.
Yeah, and I can't tell if it could have also been like a fuck you move. Like, oh, you think Dwayne Haskins is so good? All right, I'm gonna throw him out here in this game and we'll see how good he really is.
Yeah.
Didn't look good, but I'm not going to shit on Haskins too much because he probably has one of the worst quarterback situations in the entire NFL right now, other than obviously Rosen.
Yeah.
But the offensive line is horrible. They were without Terry McLaurin, so they had no receivers.
Yep.
Vernon Davis is just letting balls bounce off his chest.
Yep.
So, on the Giants side of things, the defense finally looked formidable. I mean, George Deacons had 2 picks. He's been very disappointing as of late. But he looked all right. Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, I mean one of those picks he straight snagged from I think it was Richardson. That was actually a pretty good play.
Yeah, I mean the defense they're not good, but there's talent there to be better than what they have been to start the season.
100%.
Or at least you would think.
Well, and Jabril had a return, didn't he?
Yeah, Jabril Peppers pick 6. That had to feel good for them.
Yeah, that looked good too. So interesting game. I'm upset for the Reds. How the Redskins played, so.
Yeah, and we have to give Wayne Gallman some props because we were a little hard on him.
He looked good. No, I mean you were.
Yeah, I was.
I had agreed with you, but I mean he really hasn't played much. So he gets in there and he played pretty well and he killed me I think in 2 leagues. So.
Yeah, and Daniel Jones, I didn't think he looked great. 2 picks, had 4 turnover-worthy passes according to no checkdowns. But the team just plays. The team obviously is playing with a little bit more fire since he's been starting. So
I think he's got a good size. You know what I'm saying? He's big. I feel like he's very cerebral. I mean these interceptions and stuff, man. Look, he's a rookie quarterback out of Duke. He wasn't in the SEC. He wasn't in the Big Ten. Or what? Duke is the ACC, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I give him some time. I think Danny Dimes would be a good quarterback in this league.
I know. When you look at him play, yeah, he turned the ball over a couple times, but those are rookie stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's gonna be fixed.
Yeah.
When you watch him play, there's nothing that just stands out at you, and you're like, oh, that dude's not gonna make it.
Yeah.
He just seems to have an it factor. And, he's really smart with his legs too.
Yeah. Good runner.
So, Giants win an ugly game, move to 2-2. I mean, anything is possible.
Yep.
Anything is possible. Next up, my shining moment of the week. The Browns go to Baltimore and beat the Ravens 40-25. Damn,
Yep.
40-25.
Big flowers to
Yeah.
Conley.
Thank you. Thank you.
Big flowers. Look, man, I'm impressed. This game was 10-10 in the third quarter. Baker Baker hits Seals Jones on a big play. Chubb follows it with a nice touchdown right after. Kind of swings to the other side. Um, then Cleveland D gets a huge hit on Mark Ingram, gets the fumble. Then they follow that up with an 8-play, 84-yard drive. Get the big play, the shuffle pass, 30-yard play to Jarvis. Chubb punches it in. Then Lamar comes right back, 14-play, 75-yard drive, gets touchdown to Andrews, gets the 2-point. And then the play of the week probably. Chubb gets the 88-yarder.
Yeah.
I mean, dude is just running past everybody.
That was a dagger.
I mean, just impressive. Chubb looks really good. I mean, they seem to kind of figure out where their offensive line strengths are. Because when your offensive line is kind of struggling, the key is to run the ball. Get those guys moving forward, not backward. And you got Jarvis going. Baker still had some questionable throws. He was
That's
throwing
just going to
in
be Baker, though.
right, but overall, I mean, you got a team in the AFC that has really started to figure it out. And look, the Steelers play the Ravens next week. The Browns play the 49ers. You could potentially have 3-2 and 3 teams in that division after next week. So everything's wide open in that division. I would agree with you that the Ravens have taken a couple steps back, especially just as far as how good we might have thought they actually were. Look, man, the Browns showed up. They came to play, and they got the dub.
Yeah, and we have to give Freddie Kitchens a good amount of credit here.
Yeah, I think so.
I specifically was very hard on him last week.
100%.
But they had a very good game plan going into this game. And the thing that really stood out to me watching it and then was reinforced whenever I looked at the stats and stuff, Baker got the ball out on average 2.44 seconds this week, which is the second fastest across the entire NFL. And just as a point of reference, last week it was 2.96, which was the 8th longest. So they're definitely getting the ball out quickly. That was a point of emphasis for them because they do have a pretty weak offensive line. It's probably definitely the weak point of this entire football team. And they were able to get the ball out quickly, give it to Jarvis. It was nice to see Jarvis get going. I mean, if teams are going to take OBJ out of the game, you have to get Jarvis the ball.
Got to.
He's super talented.
Yep.
It was good to see them give the ball to Nick Chubb. I've been screaming that for weeks now. He is an incredibly good player. Just an impressive performance by the Browns overall. On the Ravens side of thing, I've been honestly feeling this way since the Cardinals game when they were struggled a little bit against the Cardinals. This team just screams fraudulent to me.
Yep.
Like, I think they're still a good team. I think they're probably a playoff team, but they're not the team that everyone thought that they were after week 1 and 2.
2-0. Yeah, like top 5 team and stuff.
Yeah, and I've been really hard on Lamar Jackson, but let me say this. I really don't think he was that bad.
No, he wasn't. I agree.
Really wasn't that bad because the Browns defense, I was shocked to see this. They were giving the receivers 10, 15 yards of space. They were taking away the big plays in the air, and they were forcing Lamar Jackson to make smart reads, which I think he did for the most part up until the very end. Like, both of his picks were towards the end of the game where they had to air it out. So I'm not holding too much of this loss on Lamar Jackson. This defense sucks.
It's not great. I was gonna say I'm really impressed with the Browns defense, to be honest.
Yeah, the Browns have a ton of talent defensively, and it's really starting to show. They looked good last week against the Rams.
Right.
They gave up 40 something to the Titans, but that was just a shit show of a game all in all.
I mean, this was a game that the score kind of shows. It was a little closer than the score shows.
You think? I'm thinking well, it was like a back and forth game for sure for a while.
Like, yeah.
But the Browns definitely put it away there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, a garbage time kind of touchdown for both teams. Yeah, I'm impressed with the Browns, man. I gotta say, and the AFC is wide open. We've been saying that, and the Browns keep figuring it out like this. I mean, you got a leader in Baker that is basically telling everybody to fuck off. So,
Yeah.
you got that kind of dog mentality where every game they're going into the game saying everybody's shitting on us. Let's go out and prove them wrong. So I look forward to watching.
All right, we had some technical difficulties, but we got it figured out. Browns get a huge win against the Ravens. They currently are sitting at first place in the NFC North or AFC North. I'm sorry. So, after a disastrous week last week and kind of a disastrous start to the season, they're in first place, and
Yep,
they look like
looking solid.
they look like they might have figured it out. Again, you don't want to take too much from one game, but
Right.
impressive performance from the Browns.
Got a
Ravens,
good game next week too. That'll be a good test for both
yeah,
teams. Browns
yeah,
49ers Monday night.
that was a game a few weeks ago that you looked at and was like, God, why is that game on Monday Night Football? But
Now it's looking kind of decent, huh?
yeah, it looked like a premier
Yeah.
matchup.
Yep.
Ravens smell a little fraudulent.
Yeah.
So moving on to the final 12 o'clock game, another disappointment and just a kind of an ugly game and a hard game to watch, honestly. The Panthers went to Houston and beat the Texans. 2 wins in a row for the Panthers without Cam Newton. They are now 2-2. Texans 2-2. Disappointing loss for the Texans.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say about these two teams. I said it would be physical. It was definitely one of those kind of games, very defensive. I gotta say I'm pretty impressed by Carolina's defense and just kind of their resilience as a team to kind of pick up their losses and just kind of rise above it and get a couple wins with Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen, first player to have 3 fumbles and wins since week 10 of '05.
Yeah, they
Uh,
definitely won this game in spite of him.
right. First loss for the Texans when allowing under 20 points since week 15 of 2014. Panthers had 3 wins in the last 12 games. All of those wins have been with Kyle Allen. Obviously, McCaffrey is incredible. Like I said, the Panthers defense deserves a lot of credit. Eric Reed, Luke Kuechly, Watson got sacked 6 times. Houston is really inconsistent. I have no idea what they're going to look like week to week. And like I've been saying, the AFC South, everybody's 2-2. Everybody's kind of questionable, and we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, definitely a volatile AFC South. There's only one team in the AFC South with a positive point differential. Do you guess who it is?
Jags?
Titans.
Titans, yeah.
Plus
Titans.
29. So a pretty.
Well, that's because
impressive
that big win
Yeah,
against
true.
Cleveland now.
True.
The-
I have a question. If something were to happen to Patrick Mahomes and for whatever reason he falls out of the MVP race, what realistically does Christian McCaffrey have to do to win it?
it's a pretty good question. It's
Like
pretty fair.
if Cam Newton were to miss more extended time or come back and not look great or anything, and this Panthers team snuck into the playoffs somehow, because
Right.
Christian McCaffrey's been carrying that team on his back.
That's
That offense,
yeah, 100%.
he had 179 total yards on Sunday.
Yeah.
And that one
It was
third
like
and seven catch was
three-fourths
insane.
of their offense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the little bobble.
yeah, that was a crazy
Yeah.
catch. Why the fuck did Bill O'Brien challenge that? I will never know.
Right.
Texans, yeah, you mentioned it, man. They are just inconsistent as hell. I think that just comes from having a really bad head coach. Bill O'Brien is not a good coach.
That was
Why,
a really sick play though.
why is DeAndre Hopkins throwing the ball in the red zone?
That was sick. That was awesome.
I get, dude. I have. This was just like the perfect representation of my day Sunday fantasy football wise. My number one wide receiver threw a fucking interception. Like I get the thing with me is I get running those trick plays, and typically you see those trick plays ran like way downfield, trying to get like a 60, 70, 80-yard big play. They ran that shit in the red zone.
Yeah.
What the
And like across the field, like not like on the same side of the
Yeah,
like
just
not on the right side or the left
know.
side, but across the field.
he's
Like
throwing the ball like 60 total yards in the air, like completely across the field. That shit was just waiting to be intercepted.
yeah.
Um,
Very
so-
strange game. Not too much to say about it. Definitely not impressed with the Texans.
No, I haven't been all season, and I'm still
Nope.
not. Watson did not play very good. They couldn't get Hopkins going.
I mean,
why can
JJ
they
Watt
not
still
get
looked
Hopkins
good. What's his name? Marcellus.
Yeah, their defensive
He's had
line
a
is
sack
good.
in every game. So I mean, they're kind of the bright spot of that team. And this is why I'm hard on Watson sometimes. I feel like. I feel like he's too much of a gunslinger sometimes. He overthrew 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 walk-in touchdowns
I
to
mean,
Stills or Fuller and Hopkins.
right. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, he, he stands in the pocket too long. He takes a lot of hits, and a lot of that is a bad offensive line. But he's bringing a lot of those hits in on himself. So he
Right.
has to make better decisions with the ball and get it out quicker.
I mean, and all those plays where he'll dump it, he'll check it to the running back are always good plays for them.
Right, and I have written here that they need to get Duke Johnson the ball more because
Dude can run.
He's one of the best receiving backs in the NFL. He has been since he came into the league, and you traded for him.
Right.
And he's averaging 7.2 yards per touch this season. They need to get him going more.
Right.
I mean, I don't care how you do it. Have both Hyde and him in the game at the same time. I don't know. Just figure that out. Give the ball to Hopkins more in space. I don't know why they're going away from that.
Right.
Bill O'Brien is just fucking horrible. He's a horrible coach. Yeah, Bill O'Brien challenging Christian McCaffrey catch that was most certainly a catch with 10 minutes left in the game. You're trailing and you only have 2 timeouts, so you lose the challenge and you have 1 timeout the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Fucking nothing really to say. Texans just don't know what to make of this team at all. Next up, we have one of the craziest games of the week. The Buccaneers going to LA and beat the Rams 55-40.
Yeah. What a game.
Man, I should have picked the Bucs.
Yep. Man, impressive. And I know, I shit on you for being big on them, and now I got to give you a couple flowers.
Yeah, I've been big on this Bucs team, man. I'm telling you, this defense. They gave up 40 points, but I thought this defense played well.
Yeah, I mean, Shaq Barrett's been unbelievable.
He's got to be the defensive player of the year front runner. I mean,
he's got more sacks than Watt, Mack, and Donald combined.
He has 9 sacks.
Yeah.
Already, the all-time record is 22.5. So that is not. He's on pace for 36.
Right.
So that's not out of the realm of possibility, honestly.
Yeah.
Held the Rams to 28 rushing yards.
Yeah, the offense is fun to watch. I mean, this is finally a head coach I can get behind for this team.
Yeah, I agree.
Bruce Arians is a great fit. They scored the most points in franchise history. Godwin ties the most receptions by any Bucs receiver in a game. He tied Keyshawn Johnson.
They have 2 number 1 receivers.
Right. Mike Evans is a monster as well. The Bucs have scored 123 points through 4 games, most ever in their franchise. Jameis has 3 plus touchdown passes in consecutive games for the first time in his career.
I think it's time to put some respect on his name.
I think so too. I mean, and he, like I told you last week, I've always liked Jameis. I always liked him more than Mariota coming out of that draft. But this has got to be disappointing if you're the Rams.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're kind of complimenting the Bucs, but I still kind of have my woes on them. Like, okay, but if you're the Rams and you're the defending NFC champions, and the Bucs just had a historic game on you, and Goff had 3 picks, and you ran a total of 30 yards between Gurley and Brown. I mean, you did get Robert Woods going, but this is a bad one if you're a Rams fan.
Yeah, and this is a Rams team. We kind of mentioned this last week. We haven't been too impressed by them. I mean, they've come out flat in every game. They're barely winning. They're playing ugly. They're playing down to their competition, and they come out and they lose, and they look bad while doing so. Like, here's the thing. Goff, this was a really weird game for him because he
over 500 yards.
Yeah, he had, 4 turnovers. Was it 3 picks and a fumble?
Yeah.
3 picks and a fumble.
3 picks.
And you know what? I rewatched this game. I saw Chris Sims talking about this, that he said it was the best game Jared Goff ever played. I thought that was fucking ridiculous after watching the game live.
Right.
But rewatching it, he was making some throws towards the end of the game.
Yep.
So it was like it was weird because he was kind of the reason why they were in the game towards the end, because he was willing them back. But at the same time, he was also the reason why the score was the way it was, because you can't turn the ball over 4 times and expect to win.
Especially with a offense that was just going nuts.
Yeah. And
I mean, and we've been big on this secondary for the Rams, and they got torched.
I was just about to say that, man. Taylor Rapp and Robbie Goldman got just demolished. I mean, Marcus Peters had that nice pick six, but other than
Yeah.
that, he was getting torched too. Like,
Yep.
ugh.
And that's kind
Um,
of how Peters' career has always kind of been. Like he'll look good, and then he won't look good, and then
yeah,
he'll have a pick, and then he'll get torched again. Like so.
I definitely think his tenure in LA so far has been a tiny disappointment. Maybe
Right.
not like a huge one, but
I mean, it wasn't great in Kansas City either. I had a Kansas City fan that couldn't stand him. That was a buddy
yeah,
of mine. Couldn't stand him.
he's definitely big play. Like he's definitely like a big play corner, and those are sketchy
Right.
because it's like, all right, sometimes I just want you to play conservative and get a stop.
Yeah.
I will say this about the Rams: what the hell happened to that elite offensive line? Their offensive line's bad. Goff is
Yeah, and you have a star player who's not himself.
yeah, and we say this every time we mention the Rams. That offense last year was built around Todd Gurley, and he is just clearly not himself.
Right.
So moving forward, I don't know what to think of this Rams team. I think they're a good team, but I don't think that they're the team they were last year. That is 100% certain.
Yep, I'm in agreement with you for sure.
And I said this in the first episode of this podcast. It was week 2 to be fair, but I really think the Seahawks could win this division. We're about to talk about them in a second, but the NFC North all of a sudden, or NFC West all of a sudden looks a lot tougher for the Rams than it did going into the season because the Niners are for real and the Seahawks are for real.
Yep.
And the Rams need to figure some stuff out. Moving on to the next game, the Seahawks went to Arizona and took care of business, beating the Cardinals 27-10. Cardinals are still winless this season.
Yeah, kind of a disappointing game. I mean, I'd picked Seattle, but I thought the Cardinals could at least score 20 points.
Yeah, I had this game really close. For some reason, I don't know why.
Well, it was kind of oddly close for a little while before the Seahawks kind of pulled away late. But man, this Cardinals defense is really bad.
Yeah,
It allows they've allowed the most yards through 4 games since 1940. I mean, I think Kyler looks good. I mean, I like the rushing touchdown. They need some more pieces around them. I put good job Seattle, I guess, is what I put on here. Seahawks are 53-0 when leading by more than 4 at half, including playoffs.
that's insane.
Right?
That's Pete Carroll right there.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good game for Seattle to bounce back. They're on the road, get a good win. It's divisional, so props to them. I'll give them a flower too.
Yeah, I mean, not much really to say about it. The defensive line is seriously good in Seattle. Clowney's been really good for them since coming over. He had that pick six. That was a nice play by him.
I thought that was a great fit for sure.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And I don't know. There's really not much I have to say about this game. The Seahawks just handled business. Chris Carson finally didn't fumble the ball. He is so good.
He is, man.
He's such a good runner.
Yes, he is.
So it was good to see him not fumble. And the offense, like Pete Carroll and even Russell Wilson, they clearly really like Carson. And I think they've been throwing the ball a lot more this season. But I think if Pete Carroll had to choose, he'd rather run the ball, I think. Just the way that team is built. Cardinals.
I mean, it's always good to have a good running game.
Yeah, it is. And I really like Chris Carson. I don't know how he compares to Marshawn Lynch. Probably like not close as far as prime goes, but I mean he's definitely a really good running back.
Right.
For the Cardinals, I was happy to see David Johnson get a little bit more involved. I mentioned that on Thursday that I wish that they would get him more involved in the offense. He had 11 carries and he was targeted 11 times in the pass game.
I still feel like you should have more carries than that, even if you're playing from behind.
Right, but that's just kind of a microcosm of the air raid offense where you're going to replace runs with short passes.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, I mean, my thing was if you're going to do that, at least give those short passes to David Johnson and treat it like a run almost.
Yeah, get some, like, RPOs or something.
Yeah.
Some more RPOs.
This season for the Cardinals is going to be an ugly one, but I think it's just too early to pass any judgment on them until they build an offensive line around Kyler Murray because their offensive line's horrible.
Yep. And the defense is atrocious.
Yeah, defense is really bad. They have injuries and suspensions and stuff, but still, their defense is going to be bad even when those players come back.
Yep.
So, definitely out of these winless teams, the Cardinals I don't think are as bad as some of the other ones, but
I agree.
They're not good. All right,
Yep,
moving on.
they need a lot more pieces.
Yeah, it's going to be probably 2 or 3 years, I would say. Best case
Yep.
scenario. Moving on. Oh my God, the
Yeah.
fucking Vikings, man.
Yep.
The
Yep.
fucking Vikings go to Chicago and lose in embarrassing fashion, really, 16-6 to a backup quarterback.
Who, yeah, I think might be better than Trubisky.
I wanted to, you know how I feel about Mitchell Trubisky, so I wanted to
Yep.
come on here and shit on him and agree with you. I just don't think I can because Chase Daniels.
Listen, I've always liked Chase Daniel. Out of Missouri, he's been on the Saints. He's a solid player. Obviously, I'm not looking for Chase Daniel to be crazy good or anything, but I think he's solid, man.
He's okay.
I think he's solid. But yeah, my two main takeaways. This game was pretty horrendous. But Chicago defense is actually unreal.
They're on
And
another
then
level.
my other point was actually Chase Daniel might be better than Trubisky. And then, dude, listen to these numbers for Chicago defense through 4 games. They compared them to the 1985 Bears, and their numbers are better. They're 11 points per game versus 17, 40 less yards per game, and 1 more sack. And they're just loaded everywhere.
Yeah.
Bears fewer than 20 points allowed in 8 consecutive games. I still think Minnesota's a tough team going forward. I still think they're a good team, but Kirk has not been good, and the Bears defense is going to dominate, I think, whoever they play.
No, there's no reason to hold punches. Kirk Cousins fucking sucks. Like I can't watch this dude anymore, man. He frustrates me to no end because this is a good Vikings team being completely held down by him. And did you see like all the comments after the game by like Adam Thielen?
No.
He was like, yeah, we have to throw the ball downfield and we have to make good throws. Basically, is what he was saying.
Yeah.
And Stephon Diggs yesterday tweeted like an emoji with no face emoji.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, there's some shit going on there in Minnesota.
Yeah, he's 2-11 versus top 5 defenses in his career.
Yeah, which is a bad sign in the NFC North because the NFC North typically has pretty good defenses.
Right, and now the Packers have one too.
Packers have
at least
one.
a better one than they've had.
Yeah, the Bears obviously their defense is on another fucking planet. You were mentioning it.
This really might be the best division in football right now.
I think the NFC West is really solid too.
I think it's close.
The Cardinals definitely dragged that division down.
Right.
Where I don't think the NFC North has a single bad team. I think they're all good teams.
That's what I'm saying.
I think Khalil Mack might be the biggest difference maker outside of the quarterback position in the entire game.
Yeah, 100%.
Those strip sacks, they're just killers, man. He had that strip sack. The Bears got the ball in the red zone. They didn't score. They didn't score a touchdown. At least they kicked the field goal, but it made it 13-0. And against this Bears defense, that shit feels like 30-0.
Right. I mean, the Bears, since I've known them, I mean, they had Urlacher. You always hear about the '85 Bears, and they finally get this cornerstone piece that Oakland just throws away, and they're right back to being that kind of Bears defense mentality where they have this star player and a bunch of good guys around them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really solid guys around them.
Yeah, I mean, some superstars littered around too. Like it's not like Max out there. I mean, you mentioned by himself, but still, they have a bunch of solid guys, but some really good like superstar caliber players too. Clinton Dix is really good.
Right. But he was kind of like falling off last year or two, you know?
Yeah, but he's been insanely good for them so far.
Yep.
Danny Trevathan's a monster too. Like, This defense is insane, man. Really not much else to say about this game. It was a Bears game. Yep. Is this defense good enough to carry this offense to like a Super Bowl or something? Still, I don't know. I really don't think so. If the Bears had a good quarterback, wow, they would be insanely good.
Yep.
But Kirk Cousins fucking sucks. That's my biggest takeaway from this game. And the thing is, he's a $30 million dead cap next year, so he is going to be the quarterback for this team for the next, 20-plus games, 30 games almost. So I saw there's a funny Twitter account that is literally counting down the games until Kirk Cousins' contract is up. So, I mean, if you're a Vikings fan, it has to suck because you were one win away from going to the Super Bowl, being the first team ever to play in a Super Bowl you were hosting.
I mean, what were they going to do, though? Keep Keenum?
Well, no, but I'm saying like at the time you replace Keenum with who you think is a better player in Kirk Cousins, a team that almost made the Super Bowl, and you're thinking that you have a Super Bowl
Upgrade.
favorite,
Yeah.
and you've just been a colossal disappointment since then.
Yep.
I will say that the defense has taken a step back though. Like this isn't the elite defense it was 2 years ago, even though it's still a good defense. It's not the defense it was when
Yeah,
they
I mean, I still think it's really good. I mean, they still held the Bears to 16 points. I know the Bears don't have a crazy good offense, but I still think it's a top 10 defense
yeah, I
in the
mean
league.
it's around there. But
Yeah.
when they almost won the Super Bowl, it was top 2, top 3.
Right. That's fair.
So disappointing loss for the Vikings. They go to 2-2. Yeah, I don't know what to make of them moving forward, honestly. Next up, the Jaguars and the Broncos. The Broncos find another heartbreaking way to lose. They fall to
This might
0.
have been my best pick of the week.
Yeah.
Jags are my upset pick. I'm starting to love this team, man. This is a fun game, and I texted you during this game. I was actually pulling for the Broncos. They just have bad luck right now, man.
That's what I'm saying, man.
They just have bad luck. They
This team
cannot
is
pull
not
out a win.
this team is not 0-4 bad.
Right. And but I'll tell you who doesn't have bad luck, and that's fucking Gardner Minshew.
No, this dude's on a run.
This dude, he has the highest passer rating and is tied for first in completion percentage by a rookie in their first 4 games in the Super Bowl era. Fournette went nuts, 8 yards a carry, over 200 yards. Broncos look, they got 5 sacks. Unfortunately, Chubb looking like tore his ACL.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that. That's really unfortunate. And we've been very high on the Broncos for how bad their record is.
Yeah.
We've been saying every game that the Broncos are a team, they're gonna play you well. They've been in every game, and it's been since week 1. And the AFC South, I don't know what is gonna happen because everybody is even right now. And if they can keep Ramsey and Ramsey can buy back in, this Jags team might come out of the AFC South.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single favorite in the AFC South right now. Just looking at all 4 of those teams,
I'll tell you who my favorite player is in the AFC South, and that's Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I mean, he's a winner. I don't know what to make of this game because it's like, oh, and the Broncos, you have to feel sorry for them. The second, they've had 2 home games this season. They've lost both of them on last-second field goals.
Yep.
Like, I mentioned something like to one of my friends during this game. Does it always? It's funny that I said this because I ended up being wrong fucking later in the night, and we'll talk about that game in a second. But it feels like any time a team needs to get in field goal position to either win a game or tie a game with like a minute and a half left, it seems like they always do. And that was the case in this game, at least, not in the game we're going to be talking about next. But
yeah,
I don't know. The Broncos finally they got some sacks. They got 5 sacks, which is solid. Still no turnovers though, and this is only the 3rd team since the merger to not have a turnover or not have a takeaway in the first 4 games. All 3 of those teams have started 0-4. So if you don't get turnovers, you're putting your offense in a really bad position, and there's just a small chance you're going to win the game, losing the turnover differential every single week.
Which is crazy because you would think with Von Miller and some of these guys that they would at least have gotten with Chris Harris. You would have thought they would have a pick or something by now.
Right. I mean, turnovers. A lot of turnovers are luck based.
Right.
And the Broncos are just super unlucky right now. There's really no way around it. I mean, Gardner Minshew's out here dodging like 8 sacks and then throwing touchdowns.
And that's the thing is I'll credit him, and you see a lot of these fumbles like Stafford's fumbling when he's getting sacked. Matt Ryan's fumbling when he's getting sacked. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
There's something about how you get sacked, and you got to have this sense of awareness to protect the ball. Right. Especially, it seems like all these left tackles are just getting burned by somebody off the edge. So, it's almost like an art to getting sacked correctly if you're a quarterback.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, does this Minshew stuff kind of remind you of Dak a tiny bit?
As in, like, when Dak was a rookie type of thing?
Just this whole situation. Nick Foles obviously isn't what Romo was.
But Nick Foles was a huge upgrade from Bortles, and then right, his first drive was fantastic with the bomb, and it's like, oh my God, the Jags are gonna be really good. And then, yeah, I mean, I kind of feel you how he just goes down, and then it's just a guy that takes over, and he's proven to be this underrated guy.
Well,
Um,
let's dive into this a little bit further. Actually, the more I think about it, so let's just eliminate the game against the Chiefs because Minshew came into that game late, whatever. So his first official start, they lose to the Texans. Dak's first official start, he lost to the Giants. Both played close games. Then Dak went on like a 9-game winning streak after that,
yeah, something like that.
and now Minshew's on a 2-game winning streak. Look out!
Yeah,
And they're both risk adverse. They don't make too many dumb decisions. They make safe throws, but they make big throws when they have to.
and then they're really good at kind of avoiding pressure and making plays.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think their play style is all that similar, but I just thought it was an interesting comparison because you have
Kind of interesting.
what is Minshew, a 6th-round pick?
Right. I don't know, but I think what's big too is Fournette just going nuts because that big run was crazy. I mean, the stadium, everybody was hyped just because that was when Fournette is playing like that. He's playing angry. I mean, he was yelling at his own teammates at the end of the game.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it was kind of good to see just the Jags fired up and see Fournette in the middle of it.
we've been waiting for that from Fournette, I think,
Right.
a while now.
Yeah.
What do you have, like 225 yards, no touchdowns? That kind of sucks for him, but still,
It's okay.
I mean, great performance all around.
Yep.
For the Jags, I would say you get a tough win at a tough place to play. Broncos 0-4, man, that sucks.
Yep.
Don't think that they're that bad, but
And I mean, if the Jags had fell to 1-3 and everybody else is 2-2, like I would have been kind of like, but I mean, everybody is even in that division, and it's up for grabs.
definitely up for grabs. I could see any of those teams winning it. Moving on, Sunday Night Football. The Saints kick 4 field goals and win the game, 12-2.
Yeah, man, this is not going to be fun to talk about.
But I'm gonna go off. Let me just warn you in advance. I have
Do
so
you
many.
want to start?
Let me just say this: you lose a game when the other team doesn't score a single fucking touchdown.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
If you would have told me the Saints scored 12 points and
I would
asked
have
me
thought
if
it
we
would have
win,
been
I would
a
have said
blowout.
150%.
If you told me before the game, hey, the Saints don't score a fucking touchdown, they score 12 points, I said, oh my god, this is gonna be a massacre.
Right.
This game had Jason Garrett's fingerprints literally all over it. All over it. And maybe I'm giving Kellen Moore too much of a pass, but
Right.
just looking at the way this team played in the game plan, it was night
Because
and
the
day
defense
different.
played well. The defense played really well.
Its best game of the season, probably.
Yeah. And I mean, just like last year, I mean, I don't know. And we both predicted this being a high scoring game.
Yeah, I think you mentioned last year.
It went down just like it did last year.
Well, I think the thing is with our defense in this, I think that our defense actually matches up really well against the Saints team because we have linebackers who are really good tacklers, and Van Der Esch and Sean Lee and Jalen Smith too. So Kamara's like elusiveness isn't as big of a factor as it might be against poor tackling teams, if that makes any sense.
100%.
And we have some physical corners too.
Yeah. I think what was big was those 2 fumbles on consecutive drives.
Killers.
I mean, and the Zeke one. I mean, I hate to get into the refs and stuff.
No, that shit was not a fumble.
Zeke was down, bro. The elbow.
And how do you review that?
Yeah.
Say it was
100%. I'm with you. And then one of our biggest plays to Witten, and he obviously guy kind of punches it out. It was a good play on his part, but man, those were just demoralizing. Those were demoralizing fumbles for the whole team. I put on here the play calling was not good. 7 play actions when that's been our strength all season. That's been our best. I mean, Dak has been his best in the play action. That's when we stretch the field. That's when we throw over the top. And we ran it 7 times.
Oh, and I want to point out that Dak was 6 for 7 for 65 yards on those plays.
Right.
So it wasn't like it wasn't working.
Yeah, it was working. And we kept trying to run the ball, and that was not working. I'll give the Saints credit on this. They haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in 30 straight games.
That is a crazy.
30 straight games they haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher?
I wonder how much that has to do with, though, like their offense being so good that they get out to big leads sometimes.
And teams are forced to throw.
Yeah.
That's fair. I do think their front four is solid. I mean, I like Cameron Jordan a lot.
Yeah, Cameron Jordan's really good.
And the announcers kept saying this too, that Lattimore tends to play better against, like, the better competition he plays against, the better he plays. But I also think Amari wasn't 100%. He kind of didn't look all the way there. I mean, we know about Michael Thomas, but he's got a couple good stats here. Fastest player to 350 receptions ever. He's already 5th all time on the Saints receptions list. Dak continues. I don't know. This perfect passer rating in third quarter is interesting to me.
Yeah, that is an interesting statistic.
I
Did he
think
have an incompletion
we've
in
been
there?
good coming out of halftime making adjustments. I think is what I can kind of take away from that. But man, we need to figure it out on offense, man. I don't know how we score 10 points in this game. I mean,
No, and the Saints defense is a middle of the road defense. I'm sorry to be that guy. I know I'm gonna sound salty, but this isn't like a top tier defense that just had our number or anything. This is like a pretty middle of the fucking road defense.
Yeah. What I think the brightest spot of this game that we can take away from is Robert Quinn is an absolute monster.
Yeah, big piece for this defense.
So, I mean, off the edge, he's a monster. And the Saints also led time of possession by 13 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, this game was really disappointing. And it was tough to watch and very frustrating.
I don't like typically when Cowboys lose the game, you know me, I'm very pessimistic. I'm very emotional during games. I say a lot of shit I don't really mean. I have a lot of takes that I don't really mean. Once the game is over and the dust settles, I feel better usually. And even the next day I can look at a loss and say, "Okay, you don't win every game." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This one is just sticking with me, dude, because it reaffirms all of my concerns with this team, and it starts with fucking head coaching. Because it's like this
like,
game plan
what was the game plan?
This game plan is inexplicable. There is
Right.
no reason why the game plan should have looked the way it did. It's because it's fucked up because if you go back and look at all of the statements coaches made the past several weeks, like the coaching staff has made, you saw the shit coming from a mile away because they kept saying, "Oh, we're gonna get Zeke more involved." After the Giants game, they said going in the Redskins game, "Yeah, we're gonna get Zeke more involved." Then after the Redskins game, they said, "Yep, we're gonna start taking the training wheels off Zeke. Now he's gonna get even more involved." And that's been the case. We've been running the ball more and more and more and more and more every week. The thing is, dude, sometimes that shit doesn't work.
It wasn't working.
Sometimes that shit does. We're not playing the Dolphins every week, guys. Like,
right. I mean, throw Pollard out there. Just get a change of scenery with a screen or something, man. Like, every time we tried to run the ball on second down, they just totally read it. It was like back to last year. Hey guys, we're gonna run the ball. You want to match up and just see what happens, and we would get shut down like every time. No play. Like, where's the play action?
Tony Pollard didn't get Tony Pollard played 2 snaps.
Why?
No carries. That is just baffling to me.
Right.
My thing is look, I get you you spent a lot of draft capital and money on the offensive line. I get that. You made Zeke the highest paid running back in the NFL and spent a 4th overall pick on him. I get that. You want to establish the run game because it's what you're built to do. But it's not like that's our only option. So if it's not working, it's okay to say, hey, the run game, it's not working. Let's run some passes. Let's air it out a little bit. Let's do some play action.
That play to Jarwin was one of our best plays. Stretch the field with Jarwin more. Like, do what's working.
Yeah, this was just a
hit the seam on the secondary. That's not very good. I mean, come on, man.
I know. At least throw the ball deep. I don't give a fuck if it's not complete. If it's incomplete, at least throw it. That's always been my issue with this team.
Right. Like, take a chance.
Before the final drive, they threw one pass longer than 20 yards, and that was the one to Jarwin. That was complete and set up a touchdown. It's just baffling to me that after the first, I almost guarantee. Obviously, we don't know what the fuck happened behind the scenes, but I guarantee this is what happened. Jason Garrett sat down in the coaching room and said, "Guys, our offense looked really good, but it's Sunday night football. It's against the Saints. Let's remind America that we like to run the ball. And we're gonna try to make it work no matter fucking what."
It's so annoying.
1.9 yards per carry for Zeke. Stop giving him the ball.
Right.
Like, if it's not there, it's not there.
Nope.
Here's some. I saw a lot of these tweets, and I have a bunch of them written down for some alarming stats. Prior to the last drive of the game, this was the Cowboys on first down. 11 runs, 1.9 yards per carry. 8 passes on first down, 7.3 yards per attempt. That's really fucking good. In the first half, on first down, we ran 7 runs for 2.1 yards per carry, a 14% success rate. That's abysmally bad.
Yep.
Ran 3 passes on first down. Only 3 passes for first down. Only 3 passes on first down in the first half. 6.7 yards per attempt. 2 of those 3 attempts were successful.
It looked like our offense from last year.
It did, and it's baffling because we have
which is weird because we've been so determined to not be like that, and then we just went right back to it against a better team. Like, why?
It's just like, look, if you tried to do what you've been doing and it didn't work, that's one thing, but just to abandon it for no reason, like we're 3-0 and we had the best offense in the NFL going into this game, and the team just abandoned everything that was working for it. For what? To run the ball to Zeke, who has been a colossal disappointment?
Yeah, it was weird, man.
Zeke, you're making $90 million. You have to play better. I know the offensive line. That was probably the worst game I've seen that offensive line play. Like, that entire unit.
And then Tyron Smith goes down at the end when we're trying to throw Hail Marys.
Yeah, and we couldn't even get the fucking Hail Mary off. Like, oh my God, that whole last drive was just so bad because we had, a minute 30 left? That's plenty of time to get in. We only needed a field goal.
Yeah.
And there we are at the 50-yard line, chucking a Hail Mary that goes 20 yards because Dak's getting blitzed immediately. Like, holy fuck, man. Here's our passing rate on first and second down through the first 4 weeks. Week 1, we passed on first and second down 69% of the time. Week 2, 64. Week 3, 53. Last Sunday, 50. So you see an alarming trend. For some reason, we just need to run the ball. And I talked about this in our group text. Zeke has just not looked like himself. He has 2 broken tackles all fucking season.
He seems really comfortable after getting paid.
He's avoided 8 tackles this season. Only 8.
Hey, bro, go get a haircut and let's get serious.
Seriously, Tony Pollard.
You know what I'm saying?
Him and Tony Pollard has missed 8 or has avoided 8 tackles this season. Zeke has avoided 8 tackles this season. Just for a frame of reference, here's what some of the elite running backs are doing. Kamara has avoided 23. Christian McCaffrey's avoided 19. Dalvin Cook's avoided 16. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with Zeke, but he needs to figure it out.
ASAP, Rocky, because I don't know how I feel about next week. I'm kind of spooked.
I'm telling you right now, I'm picking the Packers to beat us next week. I'm already telling you that. It feels like Zeke's elusiveness is gone. He's not making people miss. I don't know. Ugly game, man.
I've been shaking my head this whole conversation.
You don't give up a touchdown and you lose the game. And again, I know I'm gonna sound salty.
Defense, I need Jalen Smith to cuss some people out or something.
Yeah.
You need to go up to Zeke and fucking shake him around or something.
I would need some chairs and some furniture to be moving in that locker room. I hope I hope some of the captains went into that fucking coach's office and said, "Dude, what the fuck was that?
Right.
Can you give us a better chance at winning a game, please?"
Yeah.
And again, I'm gonna sound salty because we lost the game. Teddy Bridgewater sucks. He sucks. They won that game in spite of him.
Right.
He's absolutely awful. I know I sound salty, but Jesus. All right, moving on to Monday Night Football. Let's just make this one short and simple. This game sucked ass.
Dude,
Steelers 27-3.
So hard to watch.
We both, for some reason, picked the Bengals.
Oh my! You remember how I started it out? For some reason, I trust Andy Dalton in this game. God, what a fucking joke. Bengals are 1-11 in their last 12 without AJ Green.
And you know what's
was atrocious all night long.
We were high on the Bengals too.
Bengals look like the Cowboys. These fools wanted to run the ball so damn bad. They're down by 21. They're still handing the ball off on halfback sweeps to Mixon and doing RPOs with Andy Dalton where he's getting 1-yard runs. I'm like, what is going on?
Oh my God, this game was so ugly.
I needed Tyler Boyd and Juju to outscore James Conner, and I already had a lead, and I lost in one of my leagues, so that's cool too.
Yeah, right. We both said that this was a game James Conner probably gets going.
Yep.
So that was nice. I don't have anything to say about either of these teams. Like, I'm not walking away from this game impressing the Steelers because I'm not.
Right. I mean, Mason Rudolph looked good, I guess. You can I guess he
He
looks okay.
did, but I think this team has zero confidence in him because last week the game plan was just to throw screens and they'll dump off passes. They weren't airing it out. And last night, Jesus, how many plays out of the Wildcat did they run? A good,
Who, the Steelers?
yeah.
Yeah, quite a few. With Samuels and trying to get some different things going. I think they were just having fun because the Bengals are bad.
Yeah, that could be the case.
So
I still think Zach Taylor's a good coach. I do. That
he did not look like it last night. I'll tell you that right now.
there's just a huge talent discrepancy there. Like this Bengals
Not
team,
in the Bengals and the Steelers.
but
I looked
okay,
at that offense, and they just put up 17 on the Bills, and they scored 3 points last night.
yeah, I mean it was an ugly game. Like,
Unbelievable, unbelievable. I was mind blown last night at how bad the Bengals were.
I can't believe we both picked.
I had so much confidence that Andy Dalton was going to throw all over this defense.
Me too. I was like,
And
dude,
they were the
good
play
all
calling
season.
was so bad the entire game. It was so hard to watch. Every
Yeah.
time the Bengals got the ball, I wanted to like just break something.
Monday Night Football has been fucking horrible. Like there was that one good game, week 1 that Saints and Texans game. That was a really good game, and it's just been so awful since then. What was the week 2 game? I'm trying to think. There's nothing to say by this Bengals Steelers game, by the way, guys. So we're not talking.
Yeah.
Cleveland and New York when fucking Sam Darnold was out. So we had a third string quarterback. Week 3 was the Bears just embarrassing Case Keenum. And
Yeah, that was fun.
And then you have Booger McFarland, who is the worst commentator in sports. Dude, and then you have that.
Hey, at least you don't have to listen to Witten on Monday night, though.
Oh yeah, Witten was bad. I wish that they would put Booger though back in the Booger mobile.
I haven't seen that.
No, you remember last season Booger was in that fucking chair that was going along the sideline. That shit always made me crack up, and I was like, man, imagine.
Booger is kind of funny though.
He
was like, the Bengals just keep calling the same play over and over again.
You know, Booger does tell it like it is, but
Right.
a lot of the times he's wrong. But like he'll tell it like it is,
Right.
or at least what he thinks it is. And then they have that fucking halftime show that's like the
Oh
Genesis
my!
commercial-free halftime show, and it's
That
like 2
shit is
minutes.
so bad.
It's like 2 minutes of them talking, and then a random ass song music video that no one gives a fuck about, and then it's over. Then it's back to commercial.
Dude, that week 1 G-Eazy one, I was like, what is this?
Oh my god, I don't even know who it was last night. It was Snoop
It
Dogg,
was
and I don't
Snoop
even know
and some other guy I don't know, dude.
Oh, Monday Night Football, man, it's a monster because that used to be like the prime time.
Right.
Everyone's ready for Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
It's the new Thursday Night Football.
Yep.
Sunday Night Football is now definitely the.
So yeah, man, I had a really rough week. Looking to get better next week, and yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting week of football. A lot of disappointments, but a lot of impressive moments from some teams that we weren't big on. So.
Yeah, I leave this week with more questions than I have answers. That's for sure.
Right.
I don't think there's really, besides the Patriots and the Chiefs, not a team I'm really all that confident in.
That Bears defense, man, they might be prehistoric.
Yeah, that offense is awful.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta tell you though, Chase Daniel better than Trubisky. I'm calling it.
All right, I'm not gonna go that far. I'm so low on Mitchell Trubisky, but we'll see.
No,
All right.
I wish Trubisky well, but yeah.
Yeah, me too. I mean, obviously, you don't want to see injuries or anything like that.
Right.
So we'll be back on Thursday to predict our games, and just looking at the schedule, it could be an ugly one too, because there's a lot of those toss-up games.
I'm gonna be like you and say I'm going 15-0.
Yeah, I'm not
I'm
saying
ready.
that this week because it was a fucking jinx. So if you listen to our picks, pick the opposite of what we say, and you're gonna win a bunch of money next week. So we'll see you guys Thursday. All right.
All right, buddy.
Okay. See ya.